and today I'm going to be talking about liquidity versus structure, right? So, what is liquidity, by the way? According to Google search, I can say liquidity in forex trading is probably, let's say, between the buyers and the sellers, or in other ways. I'll just pop it right here. I don't actually want to go into theory. So, and what is structure? Structure is basically the movement of price in the forex market, right? So it's actually a pattern that price moves in. So this is actually in the daily time frame of Euro USD, and kind of the pair I trade almost every time, right? So when we come to structure, structure is basically just the higher highs and higher lows and lower lows and higher highs. So structure is basically just what you are seeing on the chart here. This is actually in a downtrend, and also look, what is liquidity, as you may see, which I have said I already popped. So right here, you kind of say this, we can call this liquidity, maybe, but no, I will not call this liquidity. Why? Because we haven't seen a break yet. I would have called this liquidity if we've seen a break, right? So if I've seen a break from here, I will call this liquidity. This is liquidity, yes, it is liquidity, but per how the market has actually evolved nowadays, it's highly difficult to see this kind of liquidity holding, right? So when price kind of comes here, the likelihood of it breaking structure and come back to take this off and continuing the trend is very high in most cases, just like this one, right? So you see there was a break of structure and this was a high, but this one could have been called liquidity. Just this particular inside one right here could have been called liquidity, but price took it out, making it liquidity, right? Making the high liquidity. So that is what I'm talking about right here. This can happen to this particular one. So how do you determine structure? So which one is mostly the best to use when it comes to structure versus liquidity? I would say use both, because it doesn't actually have a particular um, what do you call it, one to use. Because if you are using liquidity only, structure is going to actually kill you inside the forex market, and you're probably going to give up, thinking your, excuse me, your village, you understand what I mean, right? But so this is actually just facts. So when we look at structure, you are supposed to determine structure first before you look for liquidity. When you know the market direction, then you now kind of know where you are going to look for your liquidity. So in this case, if I forward back the daily time frame of this particular area, um, in the first place, I was seeing a forex chart going into an uptrend, and I will define this as an uptrend. And yes, that's the truth. I actually took this as a sell from here, if I can remember very quietly, to this particular low, this candle right here. And I missed this buy, but I took this particular buy from here to this particular place. I didn't kind of catch this one because after this pullback, I kind of had some losses in this particular area, and I was thinking price is going to tap on this because this seemed not to be able to tap in, although I anticipated it. And I'll try to show a screenshot if I have it right now, but I'll try to see if it is still available. So after that, right, price kind of started pulling back, and after that, before price broke off, I was like, okay, fine, if this is actually the place, then let's call this liquidity. This could have been yes, but it didn't. It was actually just to fool us thinking this was liquidity. Meanwhile, after price, did this thing, pull to the downside, broke structure, we all said this was actually going to the downside. So price came to this particular area. Everybody was kind of selling, but thinking price will continue to the downside. Some were saying to come to this place, but they were all lying, right? This particular buy to sell order block right here was what actually worked out. Okay, because when you look at how price played out, price kind of fooled everyone, kind of pushed very high. We have a morning star right here very nicely, and wicked a lot of people out of this trade, right? A lot of people were wicked out of this trade before price kind of continued to the downside. Okay, so now the question is, which one is in control? Liquidity is in control, you might say. No, liquidity is not. Structure is in control right here, because structure is actually what has defined the movement of where price is going to go. You just haven't had the eyes to see what price was going to do. Actually, it is a pattern that has been repeating itself for a very long time, not today, and it's not going to start from today. When look at this place, look at there was a break from this particular place. Price came and took it out. There was a break from this particular place. This particular price took it out, right? And look at there's another one, break. Look at this one. There is all these minor breaks are just break of structures. Look at this, but price took it out by this one. So this has been happening for a very long time. So you just have to have the eyes. Even me myself, I said I'm a trader, but I got stopped out. So it doesn't actually matter. You just have to actually know the kind of things. You just have to be ready for anything, right? Structure or liquidity, use both of them, compare both. Identify your structure first, which is the first and foremost, because structure is always king and will always be king no matter your strategy. I don't know who will fool you and tell you that structure is not king, but structure is always king. Now the next thing you want to look for is your liquidity after structure. So after structure, you look for your liquidity, and now you put in your entry models, and you are taking price to where you think price should go. So hope this video actually helps. I'll be bringing out more videos like this, so make sure to share, like, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you for 500 subscribers. So thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you